Hi, welcome to Strength Reversed. It's Amy. Thank you so much for being here today. I have a fun VR that I'm doing today. It is the hashtag Tarot Nerd VR to Mags Black. And of course, I will link her original video where she explains the difference between a nerd and a geek. And I consider myself sort of a dork, so I don't know where I fit into that. But my middle school best friend and I did refer to each other as geek. Oh my God, geek. Oh my God, geek, call me geek. We had our own language. I think that makes us nerds and dorks. So I am here to explain all of the ways that I nerd out on tarot. And there are 6 questions, which I'm going to go through right now. I've seen this floating around the tarot tubes, and I'm having VR FOMO because a lot of my tarot friends have done this one, and I like it, so I'm going to do it. Number 1, which tarot deck offers endless interest or study opportunities? You know what? Just ye old Rider-Waite. I have the holographic one here just to jazz it up. I think you can never, I can never learn everything there is to know about the Rider-Waite. It's an oldie and a goodie. Okay, it's the gold standard for me. I know Golden Dawn, yada yada. I'm not going to debate whether Thoth is more tarot-y than the Rider-Waite. I don't really care. I think this is an important system, and there's so much to learn. There are so many layers of meaning and symbolism, and you can never know anything. So the Rider-Waite offers me endless possibilities for study. Now, another one that I'm in the middle of studying, and I think is going to be an ongoing thing for a while, is the Titanic Tarot. I'm still plugging away on a spreadsheet of meanings of the people who, there are lots of people in the deck. They're all real people, and a lot of the people are not either identified or it's not explained why they would be chosen for that card. So I am doing that for myself. And I've identified a lot more people than are mentioned in the guidebook. I'm not sure why everyone isn't named, but some of the crew members, which are, I believe, the knights and pages in this deck, I'm working on identifying and explaining how they connect to that specific card. And I'm doing that mostly for myself, but when I'm finished, whenever that will be, maybe I will share it with anyone who's interested. Number 2, which decks hit or miss the cardstock spot and why? I probably have an unpopular opinion here. There are certain cardstocks that I like more than others, and mostly I just try to avoid the really cheapy cardstock that peels and is very flimsy. But this deck, which is the Crazy Sexy Love Notes, I hate the name, but I don't do oracle decks, but this oracle deck I have kept over the years because I love the bright colors, I love the images, and this cardstock is to die for. It's not rose petal, but it is still flexible, but it's very matte, and it's almost like when you laminate something in that lamination that is matte but not glossy. If you know what I'm talking about, it just has that frosty kind of feeling to it, and to me it's the perfect cardstock. Now, I'm not real picky about, I tend to, since being on YouTube, not like the glossy stuff that catches all of the glare. But the first glossy deck I ever got, I was wowed by the glossiness of it. Now, not so wowed, but still. I know a lot of people don't like the cardstock that, and I meant to bring this deck. For example, the Light Seers Tarot has, it's a very flat, almost cardboardy finish. I personally like that cardstock. Now, I know it creases easily and people don't like that, and I don't like that either, but I don't riffle shuffle because to me that's just a wild, crazy thing to do. I just overhand shuffle, and so usually I don't have too many problems with creasing the cards. Now, you know you're a tarot nerd when you spend more than 10 seconds talking about the cardstock and finish of the cards. Okay. Number 3, does size matter? Yes. Favorite shapes and sizes of decks, smallest and largest. I like a standard tarot deck size or larger. And for me, for some reason, the larger the deck, the more almost formal it feels, because I think you have to be very purposeful with shuffling. Now, the smallest deck I have is the tiny Universal Weight Tarot. It's teeny tiny, and I use it for my tarot advent calendar. And that's pretty much all I use it for, because once you open this, they have a mind of their own. It's like a bunch of mischievous little sprites that fly around, and they're hard to wrangle. So they're not really practical for a standard tarot reading, but I do love them. And the largest deck I have is the Mott Tarot. Here is a standard Rider Waite, and here's the Mott Tarot. And it's very glossy, very large, and the way that I shuffle it is just, the long way and then very deliberately. I like that. I don't mind it. I can see how it can be cumbersome, especially if you gotta shuffle and get something done, but sometimes I just kind of flop them around and hope that they come out shuffled. I like that. Now, I do not like miniature versions of decks. This is a specialty deck, I think, but the pocket-sized decks or decks in tins, I'm not a fan of. I don't like the small bridge-sized, playing card-sized decks. I like them to be special and tarot-y. Number 4, is there a favorite artist, author, creator, publisher that you enjoy the most and collect? No. I don't know what else to say to that. I don't really follow the creator. I just like certain decks or don't like certain decks. Number 5, any favorite styles or themes? Well, I tend to have styles that I don't like. I don't really like cartoonish decks usually, but I like artwork that is bold and colorful and dramatic, and that's what I like. So lots of bold colors like this one that catches my eye. The Mott Tarot has tons of colorful, interesting images that are really beautiful. But I don't care if it's a collage deck or illustrated or photographed or whatever. I just like something a little more dramatic and pretty to look at. And you know what? The Titanic Tarot, the colors are just gorgeous. I love that indigo color. That's really what draws me to a deck. Now, I'm going to get the new version of the Titanic Tarot, and I usually do not do that. I usually don't get like, oh, this is the first edition or the third edition. I don't really care. But there are just, because I find this deck so fascinating, I'm interested in all of the changes and updates that they made, and I am willing to spring for that. I'm gonna shell out some cash here. Number 6, in what ways are you a tarot nerd geek with tarot cards? In other words, do you have any tarot paraphernalia besides tarot decks? I do. I had a tarot bumper sticker on my car for a long time, and I had it made at one of those websites where you make your own, and it said support your local tarot reader. And then when I traded in my car, I had to get out the hairdryer and peel that off. It was very sad. I have one piece of tarot jewelry, and I've had this for many years, and I think it was an Etsy kind of a thing. And these are tarot cards. We have the Hanged Man and the Sun, and I think that's the High Priestess, and there is a Wheel of Fortune, and this one is the Fool. And I thought it was cool because there wasn't very, years ago when I got it, there wasn't very much tarot jewelry happening. But I don't wear it very often simply because a lot of the charms keep falling off. And so that stresses me out. I do have a couple of tarot shirts, and I love those. This is the last week of school coming up. Thank God. And I am going to wear a different fun t-shirt every day. I do this during the last week of school, and a couple of them will be tarot t-shirts. I do have this candle. I know I'm supposed to burn it, but I just can't bring myself to burn it. I like looking at it still. And one day I'll be sick of looking at it and I'll burn it. And the other thing I have that is tarot themed is a bunch of pillows. This one stays in my tarot room. It's the coffee. But Michael bought me last Christmas some pillows for my couch, and my living room, my house is kind of like my taste in tarot decks. I like a lot of bright colors. I have like a burgundy wall and a purple wall and all sorts of different colors going on. And so on my couch, I have these 4 throw pillows, which I'm sure a lot of people come in and think I'm weird. And they are not standard tarot images, but this one is the moon. You can see a big moon here. And then we have the sun card, which looks sort of like a Wheel of Fortune. And then this one is the Wheel of Fortune. And this one is Strength, which I do keep upside down because I'm strength reversed. And so those are on my couch just as my normal couch pillows. Whether or not people get them is, beside the point. I really think that your house should be for you and not necessarily for the few times that you entertain people. Okay, where did that come from? So that is my hashtag Tarot Nerd, Tarot Geek, Tarot Dork VR. And thank you, Mags Black, because I really love these little, questions about yourself where you self-interview. And that's my video. All right. I look forward to seeing even more responses, and I will talk to you next time. Leave me some comments and push some buttons and whatnot. Bye, guys.